Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Monday night panel. Shortly, I will be introducing Tommy and Ronan. They will be talking to Vic. We've also got a couple of announcements to make. The Fans Forum on Wednesday starts at 7 o'clock, so please, if you can get there as early as possible. Doors will be open from 6:30. It is going to be a full room, so the earlier you get there, the better, and we can start on time. On Monday, the 3rd of October, we've got our Monday Night Live event, which is Christian Roberts, joined by Lee Peacock. So we still have tickets left for that at £5. All profits will be going to the Down Syndrome Association, which is a charity of choice by Christian. So please, if you want to join us, go to our website and you can purchase a ticket from there. A couple of other things. Newport game, as you already know, I expect, has been rearranged to the 4th, so it is Tuesday night. And Vic will say a couple of things about SAS travel in a short moment. So let's bring Vic on. Hiya, Vic.
Hi, Chris. How are you? You okay?
Thank you. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Especially after Saturday, my voice is actually getting back to normal.
Yeah, I've just sort of got over travelling back to a different time zone, but I think we're all right. The SAS travel are taking orders for Stevenage, which of course is a week on Saturday. If you could get in contact via the contact details on the website, that would be fine. But please get in touch as soon as possible so they can order coaches as soon as possible. So that's what SAS are ordering at the moment. Stevenage away, I think it's a week on Saturday, isn't it? So there we are.
Yeah, it is. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Right, shall we bring our guests on? Except I don't know if they're there at the moment, but hopefully they will be by the time we... Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's get Tommy and Ronan on. There we go. Hi, you okay?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Right, so any questions you have, please leave in the comments. As we say every week, we will get through as many as we can. We can't possibly get through them all. But of course, any comments that you do make, we will be sending on so that Tommy and Ronan can actually see them as well if we don't ask them. Okay, so I will leave you and I will be back shortly.
Chris, thanks very much indeed. Welcome along, gentlemen. A great pleasure to see you and have you along on the panel tonight. Thank you. We really appreciate it. First of all, Tommy, let's catch up with you and how you are and your injury. How's it progressing?
It's been going well. I feel like I'm a little bit ahead of schedule, thankfully. When I came out, I probably should have came out earlier. I wasn't really doing myself any favors because I was playing with a bit of pain. But you know, sometimes you do that because you want to help the team, or you just want to keep yourself out there for the boys. But it was pretty painful. So then obviously the scan results obviously highlighted what it was, which meant that I'd have to have a period of time out. So I'm kind of over the hill now. I'm kind of on my way back to hopefully being in contention very, very soon.
So is it fair to say you didn't really do yourself justice because of the injury you were playing with? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, obviously, when I came in towards the back end of pre-season, so it would have been very beneficial if I had a full pre-season at the tempo the team train at, because the boys are very high tempo in training. They get about, and I feel like having a whole pre-season with the lads would have done me the world of good. But obviously playing catch up, it was probably the reason I ended up getting this injury, because obviously trying to overdo it and do more to kind of get yourself up to the levels with everyone else quicker than a normal period probably put stress on my quad, which kind of caused it to tear probably. So yeah,
quad. So just explain what that injury is then.
It was just a grade 2 tear in my quad. It was apparently it was a substantial tear, which obviously would take a period of time to heal. But I feel good. Like I'm back outside. I've been outside for the last 1 or 2 weeks. So I've been running. So hopefully very soon I can be back out there.
Well, it'd be good to see you back. Ronan, I mean, clearly Saturday was a highlight for you so far. We first saw you, I think, at Melksham, didn't we? We all went, which trialist is this, A, B or C? Be obviously impressed during that time. How's it been for you?
Do you mean the whole time here?
Yeah.
It's been amazing. I think everyone knows how much I'm loving it here. And again, like you said, then it was definitely the highlight of of my time here on the weekend, and I was happy to score.
It was a great cross from Ben Gladwin, wasn't it? Just picked you out. And I was saying to you before we started, your first goal for Queen's Park was a little different to the one you got on Saturday, but of course equally as important, I guess.
Yeah, it was. I don't mind a little 10-yard tapping from like on the weekend, but I hope to score a few like I did at Queen's Park.
Yeah, obviously it was a real backs to the wall performance, wasn't it, in the latter stages? We were so far away at the away end, we couldn't see how close all the chances were that Grimsby were piling in. What was it like on the bench? Because you'd come off for the last few minutes. What was it like on the bench then?
It was nerve-wracking. No, but you've seen the lads this year now, how well they dug deep together. And when Sol's pulling off saves like he was, you just got to put belief in the lads, and you just got to trust them. And that's exactly what we was doing.
Tommy, how would you sum up the mood at the moment? Obviously being injured, it's a little bit. Do you feel out of it sometimes, or are you back in with the lads? How's it feeling?
No, do you know what? Like the boys are a really good group of boys. And even at the beginning of the season, when we were picking up a few draws, obviously lost the first game. Like there was no real panic. Everyone was calm. The gaffer was extremely calm. There was no alarm bells at all, because we knew how good the dressing room was as players, as people, and we just knew that eventually, once we get it right, once it clicks and everything starts to, because of course it's a new team, a lot of new signings. Once we all get together, gel, and get a few games under our belt, we just knew what was going to happen. That's why there was no panic on our end. So I'm sure the fans are loving what they're seeing now. Obviously, we're picking up points, winning 3 games in a row, and unbeaten. Only 1 loss in the league. All the signs are there, and it's only going to get better. Like the group is so strong. We feel like we've got a very, very, very competitive group this year to go and compete and do what we all want to do.
Well, to be fair, I think the defeat came in July, so it doesn't really count, Ronan, does it? Because that's not a real football season, is it? It starts in August. So, some of us have dispensed with that. It's kind of in the distance there. It's pre-season friendly at Harrogate. Didn't really count. Let me tell you some of the comments that are coming in. This is from Rich. Hi, Rich. What a team performance on Saturday. Thank you. And we have Super Scotty Lindsay. Graham says, yeah, all good. Looking forward to Saturday. Maybe 4-4-2. We'll see. Matt says, Ronan Modric. What a baller. And Ronan Thomas Darcy, midfield general. That's from Daz St. George. I mean, you must have heard the Modric comparisons, Ronan. I mean, it's the hair, I guess, is it?
I'd like to think so, yeah.
It's got to be the hair.
Loving it. It's good.
How would you describe your midfield players? Sometimes you've got to have somebody who does the donkey work, does the hard work. You've got to have somebody who can play and pass the ball around. Where would you put yourself?
I'd like to say I can play. I think I can do as you said, the donkey work, but who are better at doing that than me. We've just got to have that right balance in the team.
How good's Ben Gladwin been lately? I mean, he was superb on Saturday, wasn't he? How's he good? How good's he been?
Ridiculous. He's again on Saturday. He's shown his qualities, and we're just lucky enough to have him.
Tommy, what would you say your strength is? I mean, you got 14 goals, I think, last season for Ayr. What's your strength?
Well, I would like to think that, given put in the right positions to score goals, I'm pretty clinical. Obviously, last season was probably my first season showing how clinical I can be. Obviously, playing so many games last season kind of helped me with my confidence to feel like it was easy for me to do that. I'm strong. I like to battle with defenders and get at people, and I'm sure when I'm fully fit and up and running, I'm sure I'll be able to show everyone what I'm about and give people something to smile about.
What's the difference between Scottish Championship and League Two, would you say?
Probably I'd say the physicality. Definitely, it's a very physical league. In Scotland, it's very physical as well. But I just feel like since I've come here, it's kind of gone up a level. Finding space in the box. Last season, I don't know what it was, but I managed to find spaces and get shots off pretty comfortably. Whereas I feel like so far in the games I played, as soon as I get anywhere near the box, like I've got arms around me, shirt being pulled, and it's just completely different. It's something that I've not really experienced. So obviously it takes a bit of getting used to, but I'm fine with that. Like once I'm kind of used to it, it won't be a problem.
Ronan, you had a spell in Norway too, didn't you? So how was that compared to English football?
Oh, it was different. It was, again, I wouldn't say they were ball playing teams, which I'd like to think I'm part of a team that we play football. I'd rather do that than long ball. But it was more of a learning curve for me. It was more of an experience to go out and become a man type of thing, and it definitely helped me on that line. But no, I went out there and can't remember what I weighed, but I come back with 5 kg extra on top of me. So it definitely helped me on other aspects of my game, but it was a great experience for me.
Kevin sent this in. How did you feel playing right back? Because you had a little spell, didn't you? It worked out rather well in the home game, if I remember rightly. But Stockport, I don't want to go on too much about Stockport later on. But anyway, how did you feel playing right back?
To be fair, I quite liked it, only because it suited the way we play, and I feel like it worked because I feel comfortable on the ball. So if it's helping the team, and the style of play we want to implement, I think I enjoyed it, to be fair, because I was getting on the ball quite a lot, and I like being on the ball.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Sean says, I said we will gel and get better, but the good thing is it seems to be happening sooner than I thought. Can't wait for Saturday. I think train strikes may affect the crowd, though. Well, we'll see how that works. I mean, what have you thought of the atmosphere, Tommy, at the county ground? How have you found it?
It was unbelievable. Even the Harrogate game, even though we lost, the fans that travelled, they were loud. They encouraged them. There you can see they really want us to do well. They want the same thing as we want. They want the club to do well. They want the club to progress. And especially when at the county ground, the Salford game, when we went down to 10 men, I feel like the crowd were our 11th man, and they took us through the game. And if it wasn't for them, like, who knows how it could have changed, because they kept everyone going, they kept on top of everyone, and they created the atmosphere for us to go and pick up a valuable point. Because obviously down to 10 men against a strong Salford side, they were putting a lot of pressure on us, but we managed to stand firm and get the point. So the atmosphere was really good, and hopefully we can get more days like that, and with wins and more goals and everything, it'll be even better.
Big game Saturday, of course, Ronan, isn't it? In terms of Northampton, they've had a great start to the season. It will be a test for the town. Do you think that will show you just how good you really are on Saturday?
I think it's one everyone's looking forward to. It's definitely a test. I think, but we need to go into every game thinking we can beat any team, because we know we can. So it's just another game we look at and we think, how can we beat these? What are we going to do to beat them? And I think that starts in training.
What was said in that huddle at the end then? Because we're all going bonkers at the away end, and you all gather together. I think you get hold of Solbryn, don't you? And quite an emotional ending, I thought. It certainly was for us. I think there were a few tears at the end, to be honest. What was said in that huddle?
Just because like Tommy's been saying, how good the group is, and I think when everyone's together and we're in that moment, we've just won a game, and the way we won the game, I think everyone's just like, this is ours for the taking, and we know how good we are as a group. So I think it was just about bringing everyone together and just sharing that moment as one, and then building from that.
Yeah, I was in the crowd on Saturday. How does it feel when the ball goes up for 7 minutes? I mean, you know.
That was, we didn't need that.
I was watching the game at home. I was shaking when I saw that. It wasn't nice.
I don't know. It was because there was talks it was going to be 5 minutes earlier on, and then the fourth official put 7 minutes up, and then I think everyone's heart dropped a bit more. So,
what have you made of Scott Lindsay, Tommy? I mean, the bloke. Well, he bleeds Swindon Town, doesn't he? He's got a great opportunity here. People were a bit critical of him early on. We've seen today Rob Edwards go ridiculously at Watford after about 5 minutes. What have you thought of Scott Lindsay?
I think the well, when I first spoke to him, like just the way he described how he wants to play, like it was literally music to my ears. And I knew like he was very honest. Like it's a process. Like you may be frustrated sometimes the way we play, but once it clicks, like it's going to be unbelievable. And I bought it, and I agree. And it's exactly what he said has happened. Even more than a manager, I think he's a really good person. Like he's got a good heart, and I feel like that's really important because obviously I've played for people in the past that obviously are good at their job or whatever, but then you don't really click with as people, and you know, it is life, it happens. But I think just he's a good person. Obviously bleeds Swindon Town, and he loves the club, and he'll do whatever is right for the club. But as a guy, he's just a good person. I like when you work for someone that you feel like is a good person, it makes you want to run harder for him, work harder. It makes me want to be back even sooner than probably advised, because I just want to work. I want to play for him. Like that's the kind of person he is. So I think the fans should. I think they do. I appreciate they got a good one in him and someone that really cares about the club.
Well, he's got a song now, and so have you, Ronan. I don't know if you heard it. It was belted out from the away end. You got a song, Tommy. You need a song. How's it like? What's it like having a song?
Oh, it's what you grow up thinking of. It's one of the best feelings. I'm just grateful and appreciate every one of the fans who sing it.
And I've got a question here. Ronan, are you a red or a blue? I guess that refers to Ormskirk. I think you were born, but is that Liverpool or Everton?
Yeah, I'm a Liverpool fan.
Okay, all right. So you've had a decent few seasons, then I think it's fair to say. Right, Sean says play like we have for the last couple of games, and we will beat Northampton. There we go. And he says Gladys on this form has few, if any, equals at this level. So lots of those comments coming in. Let's take us through. We've got a couple of minutes left. Saturday, then. How do you think it's going to go, Tommy? I mean, you won't be playing. I guess you're a couple of weeks away?
Yeah, hopefully a couple of weeks max. If I can be back quicker, then happy days. But yeah, a couple of weeks.
How do you think it's going to go then?
I'm excited. Like the mood. To be fair, the mood in camp has been the same from game two, game one to now. Like everything's always been positive. Obviously, we have a few talks here and there where obviously what can be better, what can we do as a group to kind of improve things. But I just feel like it's just a continuation of how we've been going for the last couple of weeks, and I'm positive that we'll have a positive result and a good performance. And the way the lads have been training over the last couple of weeks, the intensities, the levels that we're getting to, is really good, and it's just exciting, and it's something that everyone's going to be really excited to see how we progress if we keep going the way we are.
Andy says, Darcy, that's the wrong answer. I'm guessing he's an Everton fan. So anyway, we'll just give that. Sean says, Ronan, I saw on TV you did was it to a Grimsby fan who can clearly seen giving you a mouthful? Did you remember that?
Yeah. Just give me a load about my hair, but it's one of them. You've got to give it back, haven't you?
Well, I used to have hair like that in the 70s, believe it or not. So anyway, there we go. So what about you for Saturday then, Ronan? What's your thoughts on it?
I think Tommy hit the nail on the head. I think the lads are going to go into the game with a very positive attitude, and I think I'm excited. I know certainly the other lads are as well. So it'll be a very good game.
This is from Malcolm. Evening all. What a brilliant battling performance on Saturday. So happy to get the dancing squirrel on Old Duffer's video. Great goal, Ronan, and get better soon, Tommy. Just to explain, on the Old Duffer's video, every time you're asked to score and you predict it right, they've got this dancing squirrel. So just have a look and see. You'll see what it's like. Darcy, what's it like having your dad as coaching staff? Jamie Day. I guess he's referring to the hair as well. There seems to be a lot of hair at the county ground at the minute.
What was that? Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah. What's it like having your dad on the coaching staff, Jamie Day?
Yeah, I've had that a few times. It's good. He's close contact all the time. So
brilliant. Well, I'm quite pleased to see long hair back again. I can't grow it, but I'd love to see it back again. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. We wish you all the very best. Tommy, get back on the pitch as soon as possible. We'd love to see you back. Ronan, carry on doing what you're doing, and you'll get your song sung a lot. So thank you very much indeed, gentlemen, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Ronan. Thank you very much, Tommy. And seeing as you've enjoyed it so much, you'll probably ask to be back on, so that'll be fine. So, all right, cheers, guys. Go and watch the England game now. So, okay. Brilliant. So should we bring the panel on?
Yeah.
Quite a few of them. So we've got James, we've got Kev, we've got Rob, and good evening, Liam. So there we go. I will leave you to it and see you later.
Thanks, Chris, again. Well, there we go. I thought it was brilliant listening to them too, and Tommy particularly sort of saying that we hadn't seen the best of him. And bearing in mind he'd been playing with an injury, I think, Rob, that's fair, isn't it? We want to see the best of him, don't we?
Oh, of course we do, absolutely. I was a breath of fresh air, that interview. I absolutely loved it. I have to say, the positivity coming out from both of them, just fantastic. And as you say, it's very easy, I imagine, when you're a new player at a football club, get an injury almost straight away and things haven't been going too well for you, to be on a real downer. But he was the complete opposite, Tommy, wasn't he? Absolutely fantastic to hear the positivity coming out of him. Clearly, he knows he's got a lot more to show and a lot more to give. And the way the team are playing, all of a sudden now, we seem to have turned the corner. It's fabulous.
Not only that, Kev, he gives Scott Lindsay another option, doesn't he? Well, if he's fit and he's ready to go, he gives him another option up front.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Haven't been too impressed with him at the moment, but I like his confidence. And I think, obviously, confidence breeds a good footballer and a happy footballer. Yeah, hopefully see results. He's got what we need is competition for everybody up front. If one thing isn't working, we change another style, and he might be a different style to Jeffcott or a different, to Wakeland, but he'll get his chance, and we'll have to see how he does.
Yeah, James, what have you thought? I don't know how many games you've seen this season, but watching from afar, as it were, how do you think it's going? I mean, here we are, 3 or 4 games ago, some people wanted the manager to go. Yeah. But it seems now to turn around. And we were saying on the way back Saturday that Gillingham was a turning point. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. I've not been actually at games as much as I would have normally been for some family reasons. But yeah, I've watched most games, or some of the games. So I think, in the early stages, I mean, God, crikey, if you'd have been on Twitter or Facebook, you'd have thought that the world was coming to an end. With the season in terms of how we started, but certainly, Gillingham and ever since then, really, I think it's been it's like chalk and cheese, really, hasn't it? I mean, we've found some form. I think we had a lot of players that were really not fit, to be honest. I think the back line didn't look particularly fit. I think and I think we've had a few players that haven't played for a while, so they're just finding their feet. And ultimately, when you've got 19 new players come in, they're going to take a time to gel. And I think that's what it's all about. I think most people knew that it was going to take a while to gel, and it's just that's been the situation. But we've started to see it now, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing Tommy when he's fully injury free, because it sounds like he's been playing through the injury, which obviously means we haven't seen the best of him. So look forward to that once he's back fully fit.
Well, I watched a couple of cracking goals that he scored for Ayr United. I've also seen a wonderful goal from Ronan Darcy. His first goal ever for Queen's Park on a glue pot of a pitch. Hit it from about 25, 30 yards. Have a look at it. It's fabulous. And I said to him, it's a bit like the Kenny Stroud goal. I know that's ridiculous comparison, but it's similar pitch, similar conditions, similar shot. Wonderful. Liam, great XTC shirt in the background. I don't know what's happened to the music from XTC at the club. I'm a little bit disappointed. But anyway, what have you thought?
That was my subtle way of trying to get it back.
Brilliant. Well done.
This is why we get overtime, don't we? Start lobbying, get it back on again.
Get it back.
Yeah, get it back on again. It's got the Ridgeway horse on the back of it. Wow, Saturday was wonderful, wasn't it? I've been trying to work out, have we got every position covered now? Because that's for me it's the squad. We kept saying, didn't we, through August, the team wasn't as strong as last year, but I kept thinking the squad is stronger. We've got replacements. We only had maybe 1 or 2 good subs at the end of the season, didn't we, towards the playoffs? But we've got, I mean, you could see it right back, can't you? There's 2 of them going for the same position. And, Hutton is such an improved player now that he's fighting for his place. And I'll just see that across the board, isn't it? All 11 positions, maybe goalkeeper. But
Goalkeeper.
Hey, wasn't he superb on Saturday? Wasn't he world class, actually?
Yeah, very good.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but you don't want him to get injured at the minute, do you? That's the problem.
No, you're right. So week on week, the squad's better, the performances are improving, and the only people that have taken points from Leyton Orient this season are.
Yeah, well, there you go. A couple of other comments. Was delighted with that performance on Saturday. I think we all were. Reed will, cause Khan suspended, I believe, will come in, I guess that says. I'd like to see Williams to replace Shade. I mean, that was the point, Rob. You look at Saturday and you think, well, two of our best players aren't playing for a variety of reasons. We're going to struggle here. But we didn't. It was a backs-to-the-wall performance in the second half. But boy, some of the football in the first half was breathtaking, wasn't it?
Well, I was waxing lyrical, Vic, to be honest, during that first half, because I don't think I've seen a passing performance like Ben Gladwin's for many a year, to be honest. He was just hitting 40-yard passes like you'd not seen for a long time. And
I mean, I said to you on the bus back, and it's a ridiculous comparison in a way, but he was Hoddle-esque, wasn't he, with that passing?
Well, I don't know what his success rate was, but I don't remember him missing a pass in that first half at all, however long, however short it was. And we had a conversation, didn't we, on the way up? Somebody's got to stand up here because two of our certainly most influential and experienced players certainly won't be there. And you felt that the emphasis was going to be on the experienced players we had left, and Ben Gladwin would be that experienced player in midfield. Well, didn't he step up to the mark? Got to be said. And it just set the tone for the rest of the team. I just thought as an attacking unit in that first half, that's as good as we've seen, certainly this season. It was such a shame for Khan to get sent off. I mean, I don't want to labour on referees all night, but whether you thought that second tackle was a booking or not, what people won't have seen, I was in the commentary box with Andrew, and we were right behind the dugout. The first booking, he's not touched the man. He's just fallen over on the halfway line, and the referees decided just to even up the score because he just booked a Grimsby player, and he's just booked Khan for nothing, absolutely nothing. And of course, that puts him on the yellow card then, that subsequently puts him under pressure. So I have to say I was very, very disappointed with that performance from the referee. I thought there was no need at all to be getting yellow cards out at that time. And he did, and as a result, we suffered. But what a gritty way to do it. I mean, in the end, I suppose we could probably turn around and say we've taken more from that last half an hour because of the way we had to go back to the wall. We had to defend with 10 men behind the ball. What people are forgetting, because obviously everyone's talking about Sol saves in the last few minutes and the clearance off the line. For the 30 minutes after Khan got sent off, they barely got in our penalty area. No. It was such a brilliant defensive performance with 10 men up to the point that the 7 minutes went up. Yeah. Suddenly the game totally changed in those 7 minutes, but up to that point, we defended really, really well.
Kev, what were you thinking when that 7 minutes went up? I mean, I don't know about you, but it's the longest 7 minutes of my entire life. It felt like it was extraordinary, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, right from the sending off, it was just hell, wasn't it? You know what I mean? You're right, you couldn't really see. It seemed a long way away. And we were sort of saying, what happened? You know, who touched it? Who saved it? And, you know, afterwards, and I've actually seen somebody else's vlog from the Grimsby supporters who were right behind the goal, and there's some brilliant shots of the saves off the lines, right from behind, and you see exactly what happened. But as it was happening there, we never had a clue what was going on. We just looked at the crowd really and see that they weren't cheering. We knew it hadn't gone in. But it was nail biting. It was horrible. I hate being in them situations. I didn't think he deserved to be sent off. I think everybody around us thought their guy was going to get sent off. It looked like their guy made the foul. And in this vlog, the guy from Grimsby says exactly the same. They thought their guy was going to get sent off. So it just was the referee. The first half, actually, I thought he was brilliant. I don't even remember sort of criticising him once. Maybe the linesman once, but the second half, he came out. He seemed like a different person. I reckon there was an assessor there that had a word with him at half time or something. Said, you're not booking enough. You're not.
Kev, there was an assessor there. The assessor was sat right in front of us in the commentary box. Believe me, we made sure he heard what we thought of him.
Brilliant.
A couple of comments on Twitter here from Paddy. Respect for our away support. Haven't half put the miles in already this season. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
we have. And Robbie's spot on. Town dug in for a gritty, hard-earned away win. It was a fantastic performance. You love performances like that, James, don't you? I you know, as somebody who used to play in the Sunday League, it was pretty rubbish, but you just somehow loved playing on muddy pitches and batting the ball away and kicking it away and doing as much as you could to stop the ball going in. I love performances like that. I think that's what football's all about: guts, determination, keeping
100%.
it out, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
100%. And I think based on what the two players said earlier on, it kind of shows what the team spirit's like ultimately. And it kind of reaffirms that, because if you'd have looked at some of the past seasons, there wouldn't have been that team spirit, and we would have lost that game by, you know, the team would have scored several goals at the end, given that we had a player less, and ultimately we'd have lost. But I think you can see that team spirit's there. They want to fight for each other. You know, and there's that massive team spirit, and I think that's so important. Yeah, I mean, it was the longest. I was watching at home, and I have to say, it was the longest 7 minutes of my life. I don't know what you guys were like actually in the ground, but I couldn't sit still.
Well, I think it was 7 minutes and 54 seconds or something.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't. You're right. It was nearly 8 minutes. So I think
Yeah.
you know the ball was pinging everywhere, and you just thought, "Oh my goodness, we're going to concede. We're going to concede." But they were, you know, the goalkeeper was amazing. You know, the everyone back and kind of you know, defending and putting their body behind the ball and all that kind of stuff. Just brilliant. Like I said, it's one of those kind of performances you just feel really proud to be a Swindon fan, and I don't think we've necessarily been able to say that for quite a while. You know, so yeah, I was buzzing after the game.
Well, Kevin and I have both got the green shirts at 100% record in them. So I don't know, play it in the rest of the season.
Maybe we'll play at home in those then as well. Then, yeah.
You know, you don't know, do you?
You need to.
Right, a couple of notes on the XTC shirt, of course. Here we are. I have that shirt, Classic English Settlement. What a double LP that is. One of the greatest LPs of all time. I'd just like to say that. And need the tannoy working in Don Rogers to hear the XTC music. Yeah, that's long been a problem, hasn't it? The tannoy and Don Rogers.
Louis Chambers, the drummer for XTC, who's put EXTC together.
Yes.
Tribute band, and they're brilliant, and he's still got it. And his drumming on sorry Swindon, but on English Settlement, his drumming is just amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's an amazing record, one of the best English records of all time. David says, anyway, on to the football, or we could talk music for the next 30 minutes. I don't mind. David says, is it just that Gladwin is much fitter than he's ever been? Not, I think, Liam, that's not a coincidence, is it? I think it is, because he's fitter than he's ever been.
We should have Mitchell Sing on tonight, shouldn't we? You know, Ben Glover's #1 fan. I've always, I did last season. I thought he played bit pass, didn't he? And it was Johnny one week and Ben the next. He is so much slimmer, isn't he? I mean, he's worked at it. There was that interview with yourselves a few weeks ago that evening, Vic, and what was clear with Johnny Williams, and that was clear, wasn't it, about his commitment? What is it Scott Lindsay said on Saturday night? I've got a coach on the pitch. I've got people coaching through. Yeah. So that maturity, we've got two captains on the pitch, haven't we, really? And he's following through on that. It's absolutely fantastic. Just hope nobody tries and signs him in January.
Oh, don't do that, for goodness sake. That's not.
You won't go. You won't go. Look at the commitment they came to the interview with Johnny and yourself. You won't go. I mean, come on, I walk on the ladders. But the point is, he is just. He's playing, you know, and with Louis Reed coming back, providing he's fit next game or what have you, that midfield is just superb. And yeah, Ben Gladwin is, as you said, spraying the ball around, Hoddle-esque. It's wonderful. Absolutely.
The other thing I'd say as well, Ian, just to say, the thing I've noticed a difference between last season and this season. Yes, he's so much lighter and fitter, but some of the things he wasn't doing last season, he's doing this season. He's actually winning tackles. He's getting involved in tackles. He's running more than he was, and he's actually winning headers when he needs to, as well as spraying the ball about.
And he's winning fouls.
Well, exactly. So actually, he's almost kind of being the complete midfielder, which he hasn't been since he's been back. Probably down to, you know, maybe his fitness and whatever else. But, you know, he's looking like he was when he was with us the first time.
And I'll tell you what, apart from the obvious in terms of his passing that we've all spoken about, there were two moments on Saturday, two key moments that people may not necessarily have picked up on. One, in the middle of that 7 minutes of stoppage time, he drew a free kick from absolutely nowhere, just by initial control and just putting his body between man and ball and taking about 5 seconds to actually fall over, which was absolutely fantastic to watch from where I was. But there was another moment which was, honestly, it was just hilarious. Dave was just trying to tell him what to do with a free kick. This was first half, about 5 minutes before half time. And you could see Gladwin just looked at him, thought, I'm ignoring that. I'm doing exactly what I want to do here. And he then put a 40-yard pass right over the top of the fullback, and we created an opportunity. And that's what you need. That's what you say about coaching. You've got to make decisions on the pitch. Your players need to be responsible for making decisions on the pitch. He made absolutely the right one in almost every occasion he touched the ball on Saturday.
Should we maybe then mention the comedy short corner late on in the game?
Yeah, that was the bit that didn't go so well, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster, that one, wasn't it? But I have to say, Rob, you know, he played on Saturday the way I've always wanted him to play. Now, he's got the perfect build for a midfielder. I can't really sort of, you know, if you were to build and design a midfield player, that is Ben Gladwin. And on Saturday, he played exactly the way I've always wanted him to play. Is that a fair comment?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, if you're looking at a team sheet of the opposition, what you want to see is 4 pint-sized midfielders in there that you've got a bit more physicality against, haven't you? Well, Ben Gladwin has got that physicality. He's got that height. Should probably win more headers than he does, although he's won a few more this year. But I think we all said in his first spell that the words that always sprung to mind when Gladwin was on the ball was he glides across the pitch. He doesn't run across the pitch. He makes his yards because he glides across the pitch. And the last few games, that fitness level, as we've spoken about already, has come back. And all of a sudden now, we're seeing him do exactly the same as he did in his first spell. He's gliding across the pitch, and he's so difficult to play against. He'll always make mistakes. Don't get me wrong here. He'll always make mistakes because he tries to play the attacking ball. He tries to be the one that creates. And creativity sometimes comes with mistakes. We can never lose. And that's where I think he gets his criticism. If it doesn't come off, then he does look sometimes like he's having a poor game. But if he puts the effort in at the level that we've seen over the course of the last few weeks and keeps this performance level up, to be honest, he's going to be such an asset in this division.
Absolutely. Richard says, I'll be missing Saturday's game for the same reason. That reason being I was on the coast path today, 10.3 miles from Sidmouth to Seaton. I won't go on about it. It was quite tough. But anyway, he's going to do St Ives to Penzance, and that is a tough section. So, Richard, we wish you well. And we should also say well done to Nick, who walked a lot of miles on Friday, I think it was, for the prostate cancer fund. And he was proudly wearing his medal on Saturday at Grimsby. So well done to you for doing that. More comments coming in. Why do you time waste? I can't understand. You know, the time gets added on and bookings for kicking the ball away. Why? Kev, here's a good one for you. Blake Tracy has been an inspiration, but worried he may get recalled given Burton's current form. In fact, the bottom of League One makes pleasant viewing at the moment. He's been fabulous. I think he's just been consistent all the way through, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think the first game he played, he wasn't fantastic, was he? But he showed promise, and I think he's just got better every game. He's obviously getting fitter. He didn't play a lot for Burton. I think he's done brilliant, and I think the fans are growing to him now. His performance has been really solid. He reminds me sort of an old-fashioned left back, really. I've been well impressed with him. I hope he don't go back. I think we've got a bit of cover at left back. We've still got Devine, and we've got Ian Dollo or Andalo, or whatever his name is. Well impressed with him. And,
how many bookings is he on? Because Saturdays I thought was just a little unnecessary, wasn't it? Where he tried to sort of kick the ball out of the ground, really, didn't he?
Yeah. He's had a couple already, hasn't he? Yeah.
The other thing as well is, you know, can we have Gladwin on corners permanently, please? Because I think we actually do like scoring, you know, on Saturday. And secondly, I think Blake Tracy gives us an option in the box, doesn't he, from corners and free kicks and stuff? Because literally every time we have one, he seems to be there. You know, so yeah.
On Ben Gladwin, I just think he's playing with confidence. I just think the manager has given him a free rein sort of thing, and is backing him. Where I don't think Garner last year totally believed in him. He's getting fitter. I think he's lost weight. He's getting fitter. But I think it seems like there's a pact between the manager. You go out there and you'll play every game, and you do what you want to do. And I think Ben's rising up to that, and he's enjoying it and playing with confidence. And that just shows what confidence can do to players.
Kev, can I ask you about the videos that you did and the contrast between after Gillingham and after Saturday? I'm guessing there's quite a contrast, wasn't there?
Yeah. After Gillingham, it was really angry and nobody really wanted to talk. Everybody was heads down. And yes, Saturday, everybody wants to talk to you. It's a bit dangerous because I'm holding my phone and I'm frightened to death that somebody knocked the phone out my hand, and then I can't find it. If it had been at Gillingham, it would have been down 30 feet or 40 feet. But it's brilliant. It's brilliant when it's going well. We love going to games when everybody's happy, either before the game, after the game. Everybody wants to talk, and everybody's got an opinion, which is great. But after Gillingham, it was like, wow, this is just a disaster. It just shows, doesn't it? 3 games and everything has changed.
Have your video of Scott Lindsay at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that wasn't me. That was Russ, the other duffer.
Sorry.
That. I think is it 10,000 viewings so far? Or,
wow.
Well, hopefully
it will be in this week's duffer, which I should be editing now, but we'll probably do it tomorrow now. So it'll be tomorrow evening before it's up. But
we might use it.
Included. Sorry?
If we can, we might use it as an introduction to Scott Lindsay at the Fans Forum on Wednesday. I mean, I was going to ask about that, James. Scott Lindsay, after Gillingham, I think it's fair to say, when you looked at his interview, he looked a broken man. But now, I think he's doing what we want him to do. We wanted to show the Scott Lindsay that we know he is. And I think he is now, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he definitely is. And I think, he probably didn't show the full Scott Lindsay when we were losing and drawing all the time, because naturally, he's going to be feeling down. And I think he gives himself a hard time. I think he said that himself. He's the one, because he's such a Swindon through and through person, he probably, to some extent, maybe even feels more pain than some of the players do when we lose or draw. So, the fact that we didn't start the season that great, and obviously we drew a lot of games, he was giving himself a hard time. But now we're seeing the real Scott Lindsay, that passion, the fist pumping, and obviously what he did with the goalkeeper on Saturday was amazing. I mean, I have to say, I don't get very emotional when I watch football very often, but that did make me quite emotional what he did there. So I think that was just amazing, really amazing. And I think it's just amazing as well how the fans have turned from being very much anti him. Oh, he's been pushed in too early. He's not really a manager. He's more of a coach. And all of a sudden, he's got his own song. People are singing it. Effectively, the fans seem to be largely behind him, and that's changed in just 2 or 3 games, which is, it just shows how fickle Swindon fans are to some extent. But it's good. It's a good thing, and I just hope it continues for him, because I really like the bloke, and I think I really want him to do well.
Yeah.
But James, I think don't you think that a lot of that is because he's learnt from that Gillingham experience? We were all very down on the panel.
Oh yeah, I think so,
for obvious reasons, and we really needed to see a reaction, and I think that was the thing. Not only have we seen a reaction from him, we've seen a reaction from his team.
Yeah,
they've moved towards a much more attacking brand of football,
100%.
which is what we were desperate to see.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody wanted to see him fail. I know we've always got these fickle fans who will always shout the odds as much as they can. But the bottom line is they were doing it because they were desperate to see the Scott Lindsay team that he promised us, which was a real attacking lineup. And we've said the reasons already. The players have been in together for such a short time. They have 19 new players. We can't expect miracles. No. And people are expecting miracles, I think. And now we've got over that Gillingham hiccup. The bounce we've seen since then is exactly what we need to see.
Exactly. And I think I can't remember where I heard it. It might have been one of the post-match interviews that Andrew did. I think, he said, didn't he, that I think he got all the players together after Gillingham, and they basically had a bit of a, soul-searching, really, really good conversation, and put their kind of cards on the table, and probably said a few harsh words that stayed in the county ground or wherever they were having their meeting. But I think that's obviously worked. you know, whatever he said and whatever happened in that kind of team meeting, yeah, absolutely. It feels to me like a little bit like some of the players were playing within themselves and maybe were scared of making mistakes and just trying to keep it, you know, they weren't really expressing themselves very well. I don't know. But it just seems like all of them seem to have so much more confidence and desire since that team meeting in the Gillingham game. So, but yeah, you're right, Rob. I think, you know, we all wanted to see what he promised us at the beginning of the season. And I think we're now seeing it, which is great.
Yeah, I have to tell you that on that walk from Sidmouth to Seaton, if you came across me, I was singing at times that song, and it got me up. It got me up some very tough hills. So apologies if you saw this mad person singing that song halfway along. Let's have a look at this. Clara says Gladwin did say he's more confident in his body not breaking down as much now due to the sports science team, etc. So perhaps that has seen him the rise in tackles, etc. from him. Steve says we'd love another 5-2 on Saturday. So we would. If somebody could score 4 goals like Harry did last year, that would be great. Hello, Phil. Blake Tracy was talking all the time to Shade. Gave him a few rollickins. Fair enough. Right, Liam, this is a very good one. Kevin says, Wakelin needs a mention. What another great performance. What a great player. I mean, works his socks off. And, you know, when you look at that, all right, didn't score on Saturday, but, you know, you want somebody like that, don't you?
What an engine, doesn't he? He's got so much energy and he just keeps going. I'm going to add a little bit of what you've all been saying about Scott Lindsay. I wonder also if it's his management team that have developed with him, because I thought Wakelin and Jeffcott's just, you know, the team was attacking. It was like you look at Saturday's team, you go, okay, we haven't got Louis Reed. What are we going to do? And that was quite an attacking team, wasn't it? Quite a risk to take, but a good risk. And it's something we were asking for all, weren't we, earlier in the season, about 4-4-2 as opposed to 3-5-2 and everything else. And I would just wonder if it's Scott's management team and around him, like Jamie Day, have got a lot more. They're working together now as a team. So back to Jakey Wakey. I'm
sure you'll love you calling him that, Liam.
I wouldn't to his face, but how? I certainly wouldn't to his face. But I think he's just. We can't say he's the new Jerry Yates. Jerry Yates is the new him, I think. You know, and what he offers and what he brings, I just think is superb, isn't it? And clearly he's not just a winger because he's going to go into the centre. He's going to move across. Jeffcott takes markers with him, and I just hope. We'll talk about Saturday later on, won't we? Of course, but you know, I think the aging backs of Northampton, including Devizes born John Guthrie, may struggle against the pace and the energy of our front three.
Well, let's hope so. Fingers crossed. Malcolm says, I think the August games was like our pre-season. Playoffs or top 3, too early to say. Of course it is. The strength in depth is better than last season's team. It's encouraging seeing such a strong subs bench for a change. Gladwin's fitter and stronger due to his match play experience, reads the game so well, feels with confidence the team colleagues around him. Wakelin, Rob, I mean, it's a young kiddie. He's one of the Moneyball signings, if you like, isn't he? But 4 goals I think he's got so far this season. Jeffcott, who runs remarkably like Owen Doyle. I mean, you look at him from a distance, it's Owen Doyle, isn't it? It is. Yeah. So that's quite a decent partnership.
Yeah, and I'll add Fraser Blake Tracy is Jay McEverley as well.
Yes, of course it is. Yes.
Especially playing at left back. But no, you're right. In terms of Wakelin, I don't think any of us saw this coming quite so quickly, did we? I mean, he comes with a good reputation, but of course, really green, never played league football before. You expect a real bedding in period for players if that's, you know, are coming through the academy. You certainly don't expect him to hit the ground running like he has. And I mean, if there's any opportunity at this moment in time to have a quick nudge to the chairman and say, tie him down on more than a 1-year contract, please, because I think you could get some money definitely coming your way for a player of that ability. I mean, when you move him out wide, we all questioned whether that would be a move that would benefit the team on Saturday. Well, did it ever? Wasn't it great to see not only attacking through the middle, but down both sides as well? And On that right side, we mentioned Hutton already. Hutton looked a completely changed player, but with Wakeling in front of him, between them, they gave the left back of Grimsby in that first half an absolutely torrid time. I think he didn't know whether he was going forward or backwards or off the pitch or jumping over the stand at times.
Well, it was cold jumping over the stand. I would have stayed in the ground for yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, Kev? I mean, how are you feeling? You know, as a fan, we've gone from this kind of weird. I don't know what we all thought after Gillingham. I think, you know, there were moments driving back to Devon thinking, why am I doing this? Is this pointless? What am I doing this for? It's just so terrible. And then you come back Saturday and it's like, it's what football is, isn't it? It's just roller coaster all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main word, roller coaster, isn't it? It's the way it started, it was dreadful and it was not good to watch and the atmosphere wasn't great. And you can understand why the fans, didn't agree with it, didn't like it. It was awful. But we all want success. We're dying for success, and then so to have these 3 games now, it's just a breath of fresh air. And I think the club ought to. It's like a new wave again. We lost that bubble. That bubble had burst from last year, and I just think the bubble's there now again. And a couple more wins. In the next few games, and let's probably be 10,000 at home again, and on the up. And we've got to start believing it as fans. A couple of defeats, and maybe we'll start going back the other way again. But I think it's good now. It was poor, but I'm quite happy with it now. And you can see people. I don't mind players having a poor game, but I want to see them giving 110%. And I think you can't argue that all them players gave 110% on Saturday. And if we'd have drawn the game or even lost the game, I think they'd have all got a round of applause for trying. And you know what I mean? It was a situation that they were put into at the end of the day. We 110%. Come out there Saturday. Give 110%, and you'll get a standing ovation. And let's hope we win.
Yeah, I think that's all you can ask for as a fan, isn't it? You just want to see your players put that sort of performance in, and when they do, you can't criticise them. It's that simple. Right, I've got a couple. Steve says lots of likes on Instagram when the team was announced for Saturday. I'm sure that's important. And I'm not saying but I just don't understand that stuff. So good. There's a question a bit back, James, and it's regarding the ground. Where are we with the ground?
Oh dear. Okay. Well, I think that for those going to the fans forum on Wednesday, isn't it? I think the idea is that Rob and Clem are going to give an update. So I don't want to steal their thunder. I'll be in trouble if I do. But I think there is some news that they are going to share, which is positive news, shall we say? And I think all I can say probably without, as I said, stealing their thunder is we've got a timescale. The major blocker that was blocking us from a legal perspective has been removed. So ultimately, it's full steam ahead. So that was the last kind of the issue that was there. It was the last issue, and it's been unblocked, which now means we can move forward and actually go ahead and actually purchase the ground. So it's happening.
Okay, we'll leave it there because I don't want to get you into trouble.
Also, I'm sure you'll probably want to explore that on Wednesday.
I might well ask a question like that. If you're coming to the fans forum, you will hear that answer, and I think it's been broadcast on the Sir Tom Broadbent lens as well. So people who aren't coming can hear it. So lovely. We'll look forward to that. Kevin says, look at the coming games. Do you think we will be in this position then? Difficult matches. Come on, Swindon. I put a few quid on Town to win the league start of the season, believe. Hello, Claire. As per every season, we have a big change in personnel, and that's without management changes. So the process and players take time to bed in. And also a question for James. What's the status with the club's debt? Has there been an additional debenture found? Thank you. I think that's another one for Wednesday, isn't it? We're not dodging questions here, but I think that's another one for Wednesday.
No, I think all will become clear in the coming days, shall we say?
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Liam, right? Let's start looking ahead then. Steve says I reckon Clem coming over is the reason for the change in the season. Well, it is a coincidence. Let's be fair.
On the shirts as well, is it?
Something to do with the kangaroo, I think. Yeah. Right. Let's. Where are we going then? Let's look ahead. Northampton Saturday, and indeed the games to come. Are we going to be in this position or higher, or indeed lower? To use an expression from an old card game. What do you think, Liam?
Potential 3 tough games because Newport might have a new manager by next Tuesday. To be honest, because the company I work for are based out of Cardiff, and there's a few Newport fans, and they think he's, what's his name, Roby or whatever his name is, got 1 game left. They said, and that's this Saturday. So it could be interesting on Tuesday night against us. Northampton every year, don't they? Every year they're thereabouts, and of course, if it wasn't for they were promoted until 7 minutes or 8 minutes before the end of the season, weren't they? They're going straight up. They're going to be tough. They're going to be tough. They don't score from open play, though, do they? So no fouling within 30 yards of the goal, please, people, and no corners and no throw-ins. So it's but I feel very, very confident now. But like I said earlier about the three up front, I think, and it's a really good point from yourselves earlier, wasn't it? Rob, you said about Hutton going up and down that wing as well. That'd be really something special. So I'm really looking forward to Saturday. I'm going to miss Tuesday, unfortunately, because it's been rearranged and we go away on holiday on Tuesday morning. So I'm actually going to miss Newport, and I won't even be able to watch the match from Greece because we'll be on the plane at that point. So I'll get off the plane and quickly check my phone and see what's going on and see what's happened.
Cancel the holiday, for goodness sake. What are you doing?
I'm getting married.
Oh!
He can't cancel that. Well, he could.
I'm getting married Friday week, the 7th. So I had to, sorry, love, if you don't mind if I go to Stevenage and I postpone because we go to Newport as well. I'll be divorced before I'm married, wouldn't I? So I might get away watching Stevenage from the island of Rhodes. But I think if we get 7 from those 9, I'll be well happy. 7
well,
from 9.
congratulations to both of you, and we wish you well.
Thank you. I'd like Steve Evans to give me away.
No, you wouldn't.
No,
I'd like Steve Evans to go away.
Yeah, you took away my next line.
Watch the buffet. Anyway, Rob, congratulations. That's wonderful news. Rob, what do you reckon then? Not about Steve Evans, clearly, but what do you think about the games to come? Tough one Saturday, obviously.
Very much so, and it's a tough month, isn't it? When you do look forward, I think it was mentioned earlier on, wasn't it? You've got Newport coming up, which to us this season has to be our local derby, I guess. You've got Stevenage, who are flying high at home, 10 wins on the spin, and we've got to go there. You've got a week where you go to Bradford on a Tuesday night and Mansfield on the Saturday. So the games don't get any easier this month. It's going to be a real, real tough month. If we are where we are now, come the end of October, I will be happy, to be honest, because I think that will put us right in the hunt. But you're looking forward immediately to Northampton. It will be tough. We've mentioned these set-piece situations. We seem better at the moment, touching as much wood as he can at defending set pieces this year. But they are a different level, Northampton, at set pieces, and we will have to be very careful. And they have got the league's top scorer in Hoskins, who seems to be able to hit a ball within 30 yards, bang on target as well. So I would take a point on Saturday, covered up with 3 points at against Newport on the Tuesday, and then go wallop Steve Evans as much as we possibly can the following Saturday.
Fair enough. Andy says, I think we get 6 points out of 9. Dennis says, worth a mention Saturday, Gladwin, the only player from the playoff team that's some feat. Iandolo came on, or Ian Dolo, as he is to his friends. He came on, of course, so he was another. That is extraordinary. That's Dennis from Northern Ireland. That's amazing, Kevin, isn't it?
Yeah. Just shows, isn't it, the change around. It takes a while for a team to gel. You can't just put 11 blokes out there and say, go and play perfect football. And they're getting better every game. We've all said it. Every game has got better this season. So I just hope Saturday's even better against Northampton. If we can stay unbeaten for the next couple of games, That's keep the unbeaten run going. Whether it's wins or I hope it's wins. That we can win the next 2 home games. That really. I think other teams will start looking at us. They must be sort of looking at us now. I think probably we are better. The Grimsby fans certainly thought they were in for a good game, and they thought we were going to perform, and we did. I'm confident. I think we can. If we can win 2 out of the 3 and draw the other one, that would be great. Absolutely great.
Yeah, I'll take that. Tony says, I think you might be surprised. I think he will win comfortably. Also Newport. There we go. James, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, you've got to bear in mind as well, given who are top of the league and running away with it at the moment, we played very well against them, didn't we? And took points off them. So, I think Northampton will certainly be. I've watched a few of their games, and they play good stuff. And yeah, you're right. I think Rob's right. They've got an exceptional. I think you said it, Vic, an exceptional striker up front. So I think it will be a tough game, but I'm confident we'll do well, and I think we'll do well at Newport as well. But I would kind of agree with what Rob said. I think if we finish kind of end of October, kind of where we are now, just a point outside the top 7, I think that would be decent given those games, because none of them are easy. I think I'm confident. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be. I'm actually going away on holiday as well this weekend, like Liam. I'm not getting married though, so but I will be away, so I'll be missing the Newport and the game on Saturday at against Northampton as well. So I'll be watching from a foreign country on my laptop.
Well, have a lovely time. Both of you have a lovely time, and good luck on the nuptials. Yes. That's what I can say. There we are, gentlemen. Thank you very much indeed. I'm sure you're all desperate to get away and watch England against Germany in a completely pointless, meaningless fixture.
The other night. I think that's another thing we've all agreed on as well.
Yeah,
Everyone coming on at half time, is he?
Yeah.
Personally, I'll be watching the recording of EastEnders, quite frankly. So there we are. Chris, thank you very much indeed. Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you for all the messages. And Mark, thank you for taking all the messages and sending them through. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks very much. And I just want to say thank you, guys, because people won't know, but this has been a change of plan tonight. And we managed to get the panel on from I think it's about 12 o'clock today we were trying. So thank you very much for coming on at such late notice. Brilliant. And Liam, I love you. Just saying Jakey Wakey. Please say it again.
Wakey Jakey.
Don't forget to listen to English Settlement when you get a chance. It is a great record. And don't forget the old Duffers on YouTube, etc. A great video to watch.
Yeah, brilliant. So just a reminder, the Fans Forum on Wednesday. So try and get there as early as you can. Doors open at 6:30.
Do I have to wear a suit, Chris? That's my biggest problem. What do I have to wear?
No, it's cash.
Okay.
Or cash. Look forward to seeing who's coming there. Please come up and say hello, because all I know is names. I don't know people. So come and say hello. And then we've got next Monday, we've got the Christian Robertson and Lee Peacock. So if you are available, please come along, support that. He talks so well, Christian, and him and Lee, I'm sure there's going to be great banter between the two of them. So that's on Monday night as well. So thank you very much, everybody. We won't be back, obviously, next Monday. But we've got it's live in the Legends Lounge. But as Vic said, the Tom Broadbent Lounge are
broadcasting it live, Chris.
Broadcasting it live from the Legends Lounge, so you can listen to it on there as well. Okay, right. I'm going to go now because I'm just going mad. So, all right. Thanks so much, everybody, and see you soon.
Okay.
Bye then.